Morning, team. Morning. Okay, it's Groundhog Day. It is Groundhog Day. I feel like doing the Big Brother voice. Day 6 in the range. That's where we are. Hopefully, mid of the week, turning point of the week, we get a breakout here. Hopefully, but let's see. As always, we're going to have to start with the daily charts. We have to observe what's going on right now. All right, we are still in this balanced range. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days inside this range. We have to observe that. What do I currently feel? All right, currently feel like buyers are showing a little bit of exhaustion. They've had the chance to set up and go. They haven't been able to do it. Shorts also have no follow through because buyers are still absorbing the bid. Like there's been no follow through in either direction. Market's having a cool off here. All right. I would say we possibly need a catalyst to get out of this. All right. So a positive catalyst, negative catalyst. Otherwise, if there's just some profit taking, can we balance further down? Yeah, there's plenty of room downside, isn't there? Absolutely plenty of room to come and back test this, which is ultimately what I'd like to see over the next month or so. Back to the 200-day, back to the 20-day, back test, and then have buyers bid it back up, and then we'd go for all-time highs. But we have to observe what's happening. We're not getting that follow through to the downside. Now, overnight, we did get a bit of a sell. All right, was I in it? No, I needed a rest yesterday. I had a great trade in the afternoon, took some rest. All right, this level here is going to be key. All right, previous day low. If we stay heavy versus previous day low, we can come for the weekly low. If we stay heavy in here, I expect that we come and fill some of this balance down to 21,000. And if it really wants to get heavy, fantastic. We have a great trading session. If we're going to reclaim previous day low and chop inside, there is lots of liquidity in like a downtrend here that it can aim for, which I'm going to go over now. You'll notice the 5-day now starting to become resistance. I talked about this before. Healthy trend will do this. Once 5-day becomes resistance, what's the usual back test? 20-day. All right. If we're going to use that as resistance, 20-day. So probably somewhere around here and let it catch up. I will show you what I mean as we dial down into the hourly charts now. We are starting to break down here a little bit this morning underneath that previous day low. All right, just focus on this chart at the bottom to start with. Okay, I want to just talk about the volume that we left yesterday. No, not you. Not interested in you. Where's the volume? All right, so most of yesterday's volume was up here. All right, this is where we traded yesterday. We are gapping down. It means everyone who was a swing buy yesterday is now trapped. So my idea would be to lean short. Now that has not been an easy or profitable trade. You can see every time we broke down, zip. Every time we broke down, zip. All right, so you need to be careful. You need to understand the short is a see money, take money environment until it proves otherwise. But for sure, we have volume trapped up here. Previous day, volume trapped up here. Previous day, volume trapped up here. You could argue we're breaking beneath that. All right. Most of the balance range right now is up above us. So as long as we're heavy versus 400, I think there is a move downside. A reclaim of 400 in here, then you know what that looks like. And this liquidity here is then ripe to be swept. All right. So the 400 is going to be key. As long as we stay heavy versus 400, doesn't mean we have to come all the way back to 400. It just means you want to stay heavy in front of it. You do not want to let these buyers out. Right, these buyers need to be trapped if we're going to sell down to some of these areas here. All right, if we start to reclaim this, we're back into sort of the balance range and volume. This becomes excess, all right, and this can be a bid up. Okay, so that's what I'm watching here. The one danger is we've already repriced. Remember yesterday we talked about a 50 to 61% reprice from here to here. That was that move yesterday. I can't remember where I got it. Here, was it? This one here. All right, that was a reprice in towards the golden zone. We're in the golden pocket now on a fib right now. We go from this swing low to the swing high. We are in golden zone. You can see a little bit of excess, but we're holding the 61. All right, so if we rotate, this is an area of demand down here. We know it's demand, it's where they've bid up. We still are in this expanding megaphone pattern as well. All right, so we might just peak down and then come back up. You have to be very, very careful. But hate to say it, but I'd be leaning short in this versus 400. Any reclaim, I'd say even in front of 400, any reclaim up here, there's no short bias then, because these then become ripe and we get short stuck under here again. I don't really want to be short down here, right? I'd really prefer to see some kind of drive up, take these hourly highs out, reject value area low. That would be a nice play, but whether it gives it or not is a whole different thing. We can have a look at the same kind of thing with a TPO above on a 30-minute chart. Right, you can see most the time yesterday spent here, 410, we're gapping down like we talked about. Right, so as long as we stay heavy around 400, in front of 400, you have to be careful of these levels here, but I'm looking for a rotation down to there, and then I'll wait to see if bids come in. If no bids come in, maybe today we get that trend continuation day. All right, so, but very, very careful here, because like we said, we're in golden zone. I don't want to get short at the open, at the lows. Let's just clean this up and then move to lower time frame. We can talk about that. All right, so Globex was here. Pre-market New York, we've washed down. We've bid back up. We're coming back down. They can find a bid in here, and this is what I'm talking about. I want to be very careful. If they find a bid here, all right, then we do one of these moves upside. There is a lot of trendline liquidity here. You can see during Globex, we've pretty much, since 8 or 9 o'clock, gone straight down. No one's been swept out. The only pivot that's swept is here, the 3 a.m. pivot. That's the only thing that's concerning me with the short. The only sweep is this, meaning that all short stops are currently in the money. It would almost be better if we come and take some of those first, but it doesn't feel like it wants to do that right now. But let's just see where we get at the open. Need to be very, very careful here. Like we said, looking left, we know this is strong demand down here. All right, look at the push off that. We're just coming back to test where we found buyers, right? So I don't really want to get short down here. Really, I'd want to get short on something like this, something where I can get some decent RR down into it if possible. So far, it looks like, you know, London and Asia, I feel like say every day at the moment, are having all the fun. They're nicely in the money, leaving us crumbs to play with. All right, let's have a look at the VIX and everything else. Let's just bring this over. VIX gapping up, looking good. Let's move this to a 5-minute and I can show you the VIX. All right, you can see here, VIX gapping up. Here's your gap. That's yesterday's close into 18s, gapping up into mid 18s, finding a bid, currently driving higher. Ignore the drawings. Again, I don't know why it makes them different on every channel, but we're basically looking for this into the VIX. If VIX builds up here and breaks out, we're definitely short the market. If we reject and start to rotate, then probably consolidation day again. All right, so those are kind of your levels on the VIX. I would say we can even narrow this down a bit. Where's my rectangle? All right, so I'd say 1850s basically. 1850s holds between 1850 and 1930 is your range. And breaking out of 20s, we're short. All right, we're short the market at that point for sure. That's good confluence. Let's have a quick look at the mag. Apple gapping down between PDC and PDL. Microsoft, let this catch up. Gapping down. Opening up right at previous day low right now. Market's looking pretty weak here. Big gap down here on Amazon. That's a decent roll underneath previous day low. Goog opening flat on Goog. Meta, good gap down underneath previous day low. Again, like the danger with these is they've come and back tested here pre-market. If they find a bid, there is liquidity to sweep up. Meta's doing that move we were talking about on QQQ. You need to be very careful of that kind of move here. When we find bids off strong levels of demand where we've had big pushes, we expect some kind of reaction. If we break under there, there's a bigger waterfall moment. Nvidia, gapping down, protecting previous day low for now. So Nvidia, you'd be watching 32s and basically 30s and 30s if they break. Tesla opening up pretty much flat. Wild day yesterday on Tesla, just in range. Tesla just in range here. Breakout yesterday, still consolidation. It's bullish consolidation here until it makes a lower high, lower low, until it does that. All right, ETFs look pretty solid. Take this off a second. Still in range here, QQQ, like we can see. Same story, right? This is the protection. This is possible. If we let go of this, there's a deeper drive. Same thing on SPY, however, does look a little bit different. I will say that if we just zoom out, let's do a 15-minute on the SPY. It is starting to look a bit rolly, isn't it? If you think about this, all right, we're starting to break. If this is a lower high versus this is the start of a trend change, and we might start rolling down a little bit deeper on the SPY. So I'm definitely aware of that, of how the SPY and the ES are looking. Let's get these back on. Market getting weak here. I feel like might have missed this short opportunity up here this morning versus that lower time frame algo. Probably needed to be at the desk a little bit earlier here. This is a nice move. There's your fail. There's your short. There's your add. Don't really want to short into this now. These were nice short opportunities this morning. Paying the bills well. Okay, how long we got left here? 5 minutes. Let's get through some morning readouts. See who's here. Morning, Clint, Jeff, John, Aaron, Vince, Chris, DK, Capt, Thumper, Glenn, Ramus, Paul, MC Rod, Ken, Aintas, Christy, Indicator, Andrew, Brad, Donna, Firewater, Aga, Trentry, Michael, Mike, Richard, Raphael, Phenom, Leron, Eva, Brandon, Juan Carlos, Leo, Willa, Peter, Rod, Myron, Bartholomew. Good morning, everyone. If this is a short day, I'm going to need advice and assistance. Hey, you can always leave it alone as well. Remember that. I mean, there's nothing confirmed short yet. We're still in range. Pearly Barker, good morning. Universal Instinct, good morning. Morning, everyone. Hopefully you're all doing good. Some of you might have seen those emails from Apex last night. Starting to see some rule changes coming at Apex. Never something I like to see, but I'm not worried. I've had payouts all week this week. I think they're just trying to stop people absolutely sending it early on in the accounts and then just rotating $50 days. So not a big deal there. Again, my favorite accounts still remain with Tradeify, but I am trading a lot of Apex accounts at the moment, trying to get to that magic 6th withdrawal so I can take it all out. Nice and early. Don't forget, smash that like and subscribe button. Let me get the stream up on here so I can see everything. 119 of you currently watching. Let's get that subscribe button smashed nice and early for me. Same with the likes. And let's see how we go. Couple minutes left at the open, letting this just do what it wants. We are in this sort of channel that we talked about. Finding a bid off the lower end of the channel. Just here, lower time frame. Okay. Previous day low is this green. All right, if we stay heavy versus previous day low and Globex, then there's a trade down to here. If we let go of this, this is your weekly low. If we let go of this as a dive deeper, let me make sure I've got this weekly low. This is the weekly low. Let's do this as like slightly different color so I remember that's the low of week. It will be important if we start to break that for the weekly model. Be nice if we got a weekly model rather than a full inside week, but you know, we've got no news drivers today. So who knows? Who knows? But I don't really want to get short down here if I can help it. Where's that London high? We've swept London high. We've left Asia alone. And we're protecting the fib. Yeah. I like the potential for a short. I just don't love the location of it right now. It sounds like a repeat of the last few days. I do not want to get caught down where we've had buyers. You can just see it. Like, the only thing that worries me is this: buyers in control. Buyers, 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 buyers. We turn them into sellers. Great. But shorting here to here, a little bit risky. The short from here overnight to here, very nice. Limited risk, good reward. That's the main concern right now, is a skewed risk reward, even if I think there's potential to go lower. So let's just see what the morning drive offers. Morning Toby, morning Greb, morning Noah. Having a quick look at the book here. Not much on the book today. Remember, there were lots of passive sellers on the book yesterday. Lots of passive sellers. Some huge orders going through yesterday, all on the sell side, but they were very passive. Felt like profit taking. Here's the open then. Let's see what we get here. Can we get a morning drive up? Having a look at the mag then. Tesla opening up green, just gone back to flat now. Nvidia red. Meta red, 0.61% down. Google 0.13% down. Amazon 1.77% down. That's the weak one today. Microsoft just over 0.5%, and Apple 1% down. Here's the morning drive off the demand level down here. Higher the better for this drive, I would say, if we're going to think about a short. Today, I want to be very careful thinking about a short today. Like I said, it's not been the trade that's been paying in this market, that's for sure. Let's get an anchor on as well onto our open. There we go. Let's see what we get here. Back to the flow zones. Higher the better. And we've got VWAP sitting up at 21,334. We've got the new week opening gap sat above that. And there's lots of resting liquidity above. Remember, it can go much higher this. All the way into, as long as it stays heavy versus 400 and the old value area low, which is, yeah, 390s, point of control, 420s. Any drive that fails in front of that or around that can be a potential short, but I'm not looking to short the lows, that's for sure. So ES coming back up to back test previous day low right now. Same with the SPY. And VWAPs are there. If they start staying heavy versus that, there might be a fade versus that. If they start reclaiming that, then you know the story, right? If we reclaim previous day low, it means we're an inside day. We've already reclaimed it on the NQ here. So I want to be very careful. We can still be an inside day again. We're already starting to reclaim it on the Qs, not reclaimed it yet on the ES. We want to be careful if they're going for reclaims. If they want to come all the way up to 55s here, what are they doing? It's the dance. It's the morning dance. They love a morning dance. Here's VWAP. ES coming up to that previous day low. These are going to be some key levels, starting to find a bid here. Tesla finding a bid, Google finding a bid. Nothing really else yet. Here's your previous day low and VWAP on the ES. Do they fade this? This will be key, I would say. If they fade this, or they just let this run right the way through it. Can be a key sentiment on the day. Right at it right now. Same with the spiders. They're right at previous day low and their VWAPs. It will be key. If they fade this, there's a move lower potentially for the day. If they reclaim it, we're going to go probably on a bit of a squeeze upside because we're going to go back inside the range. And Google, the only one really finding a bid here so far this morning. Everything else, heavy. Rejecting that previous day low right now. Rejecting previous day low here for now. Do they find a bid or not? Very sensitive area. You can see it. Nice rejection there on ES. It's trying to find a bid though at 25s. It's trying to reclaim that lower time frame algo. VIX with a massive gap down. How can you trade this? Oh, it just feels like Groundhog Day. It really feels like Groundhog Day in this market. So maybe the hourly going to come up and take out 56s. If it gets through that, it can potentially go value area high. ES is still staying heavy versus. What do I mean when I say versus? I don't understand how that's not clear. It's at over under level. It's coming into previous day low. It can't get through it. All right. So if you have a battle in sport, you have team A versus team B. Team A is the long into previous day low. Team B is the short versus previous day low. Versus previous day low. Currently, they are selling previous day low on the ES. You can see it. They're stuck right at previous day low. They cannot get through previous day low on the ES and the spiders. Spiders coming back to VWAP right now. ES rejecting VWAP. The question is here, are they now going to move lower? Right, if this is the back test that they're going to stay heavy at, are they now going to move lower? If they're going to move lower in a clear rejection, there is a deeper drive in this market lower today with potential. Watching this very, very, very carefully here. Considering a short, but I don't like that opening drive up being so violent without taking any liquidity higher. Sat still, biding my time. Biding my time here. Plenty of time in the day. John, thank God I traded London Market A, man. Like I said, it's feels like that very much the last few days, doesn't it? The overnight session's been very, very clean. All right, they're finding a bid on that lower time frame. Algo ES is still trying to build, but it's not through. It is not through those key levels. It's still rejecting. Google's the only one finding a bid this morning. I'd love to get short, but I'd want to see a clear out if I'm going to think about short. It's got to get above the hourly high, really, above 60s or something, and then fail for me to even think about it. But if I go to ES, you'll, like, for those who can't see it, it's very, very clear. Right, here's your previous day low. Here's VWAP. All right, so if you think about an outside bar, this is yesterday's bar on a daily. All right, if we're going to reject that, that is resistance, isn't it? Then we go lower. All right, that's why these levels are important. You need to understand what they mean on higher time frames. Right, if we're underneath a close or a low, previous day low, if we're underneath it and we keep rejecting it, it's acting as resistance, isn't it? If we're reclaiming it, then we're going inside the body or the part of the daily candle from yesterday, and then we have an inside bar. So if we stay heavy versus it, we're outside. All right, understand the difference between inside bars and outside bars. Is that not an inverse head and shoulder on London low left shoulder? You're talking about here? Yeah, absolutely can be. This is what I'm saying. I'd rather clean some of this out and then fail. But remember, you're looking at this, which is lower time frame. I'm looking at the higher time frame and the daily level right now. Remember, I'm not in a short yet. I'm going to wait for confirmation. I think this can squeeze up, and I'd like it to squeeze up. I'd like it to come and run all this, at least a set of these short stops out, right? You've got short sellers here. I'd like it to squeeze some of these guys out and then reject. If we reclaim it, maybe there's a long back up inside, but I don't really want to get chopped up today. I either want a follow through day downside or probably going to leave it alone. I had a nice trade yesterday afternoon for the short, made good money, not going to force my way into this market. Going to look for confluence, going to look for everything to line up together. Going to need multi-time frames to be in agreement. I'm not really interested in trading chop. You would have seen me get frustrated and bored yesterday on stream. It will be the same thing today. if we just go inside and chop around. So I'll just leave it alone. That's okay. At least I had my winner yesterday. ES can still not get through previous day low and VWAP. NQ with relative strength, probably due to Google. Google 1% up now. Everything else still red. Yeah, they're trying to bid off flow zones to take this higher. But I would not trust this personally right now. How long we got? 6 minutes until the orb is set. Again, a small range this morning. All right, small opening range. Just watching the hourly, paying close attention to this hourly. Can we drive up and find a rejection? I don't want to be short down here in the golden zone because we've just repriced this. I need it to fail. It doesn't have to come that high. It can do something like that and come back down. Again, if we reclaim this, then I think there's probably a long to come and take out these 500. Lots of stops here. So if we start reclaiming that, it probably goes all the way up. But we don't really have a catalyst right now, unfortunately. So we can just expect washing around. So remember, we've got the new week opening gap. There's the tap into new week opening gap. Higher the better right now. Rejecting new week opening gap for now. I would really like this to just drive higher, squeeze these shorts out and get some more bulls involved and then see some failures. If we can't do that, then there won't be a short process for me. We are rejecting that new week opening gap for now, that grey box. Again, ES selling previous day low and VWAP. You can see it. This is why I watch both of them. SPY reclaiming VWAP, selling previous day lows. They're condensing it now. Something will give soon. Either we're going to get that move up or move down. It will come. It won't do nothing all day. Not in this tiny range, it won't. What's an orb? Opening range. Just the first 15 minutes, that's all. It's just a 15-minute candle. Vic's trying to find a bid here. Trying to be calm today because yesterday I was just getting annoyed being here. Let's try and be calm, Alex. Come on, squeeze up you go. Start getting going. Let's take out some of these shorts and then offer me a better trade. If the bulls take control, they can get to 500 today. If they're going to take control from this golden zone pullback on the H1, they can get to 500. There's a lot of reason to get up to 500 on the hourly chart. There's a lot of wicks up there if they're going to take full control. And we're still underneath the new week opening gap right now. So, and the ES is still not through previous day low or VWAP. I want to be very, very aware of that. Gap fill, by the way, we haven't really talked about that. Gap fill is into 447, so basically 450. If they're going to fill the gap and be efficient on the NQ, there's a move to 450. That same move on ES will be a move into 960. All right, folks. So there's a long way between previous day low and previous day close here, especially on the ES. We're already an inside bar on the NQ, by the way. We already reclaimed previous day low. This green line is previous day low. Here's the start of a bit of a swipe. So the squeeze starting here. This is ES starting to reclaim VWAP and previous day low now. Already seen news starting to hit the wire. Not much liquidity on the book this morning. 30 lot up at 380. Just waiting to see if something sets up here. ES rejecting now. Peaked through that previous day low in VWAP, not finding a sustained bid above it yet. Lower time frame is bullish. Higher time frame is in liquidity build stage. It really depends what they want to do. I'd say that London high is at 85, Globex 440. So London high not too far away, Globex above it, PDC not too far away if it can get a bit of a pump here. So this is exactly what I wanted to see this morning. Now I want to see if we can swipe out loads of them and start to have failures. If we start to reclaim, then no follow through and we just go for an inside bar. Like I said, don't want to short the lows. I want to squeeze out in the open morning drive. And then I want to see failures. So this is part one, squeeze out. VIX is not looking very good. Back to previous day high here on the VIX. Gapping down. Well, it gapped up and it's giving it all back, basically. So into the higher time frame algo. Anchor VWAP from yesterday is into 87s. ES coming for a back test of previous day low in VWAP. Does it find a bid here or not on the ES? That's the question. Does it find a bid or not on the ES? God, my stomach is rumbling. Here come the fails. After sweeping some liquidity, I think it's got a bit more to go. I think we can go and take out London high at 84s before I see fails. Anchor VWAP from yesterday is around there as well. Remember, anything that fails in front of 400, if they protect sort of 400, that's where the buyers are trapped yesterday. Remember what we said at the beginning? We want it to drive up towards that, and we would need to see some failure in and around that area. All right, if we fail in front of 400, that's where the buyers are trapped from yesterday. If we start to reclaim it, there is a very high probability at that time that we're going to go and take out 490, 500. Right, but this is where the volume was trapped yesterday as we drive up towards 400. Remember that we talked about it pre-market. We went over the volume profile. We went over point of control. We went over the TPO. You can see it clearly where we chopped all day yesterday is where we're coming towards. So if we reject this and we start doing lower lows and lower highs, there's probably a short trade all the way back down to lows. If we reclaim it, there is probably a long all the way up to 490, 500. Through that, we have equal highs at the high of week of 560. So it will make a decision soon. This is why I'm trying to be patient today. Flow zones are supporting the bid up right now, but I don't trust the higher time frame because we are just in a range and I know where everyone is trapped. All right, we talked about it. Where are they all trapped right now? Here. All right, this is where they're trapped. Any buyer in here is currently trapped. So either we're going to reject this for a move to lows, or we're going to reclaim this, sweep these guys, and probably take that out. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for it to make its decision. So anchor VWAP from yesterday coming up into 86s. Value area low from yesterday up here. Point of control above it. That magic 400 number not far away. Starting to see a little bit of selling here, but they are trying to support the bid. Liquidity starting to thicken up a little bit. We're right at the top of the orb here. All right, you're right at the top of the orb here. Orb on the day is 72s. How much juice has it got? Can it close the gap? I guess would be the next question. If it's going to get through the new week opening gap, get through 400, it probably closes the gap. ES now finding a bid at VWAP at previous day low. So that's your over under. There is liquidity for ES to attack at 34s. Yeah, 34, 35. Some of the mags starting to go green now. Google having a really strong day, 2% up. Nvidia's just gone red to green. Meta, 0.85% up. Tesla, a third of a percent up. Amazon, the weak one, 1.5% down. Apple, just under 1% down. Microsoft, 0.63% down. So not all of the mag in agreement either right now. They're not all driving together. That can change. Like we said, things can change very, very quickly in this market. When I talk about New York time. I'm never talking about Central Time, Trentry. I don't talk about Central Time because you confuse people. The market is based on New York time. The range was set 9:30 to 9:45, not 8:45. Okay, here goes ES in towards those 34s that we talked about, finding a bid on previous day low. We're back inside previous day range now, remember. ES now back inside previous day range. That means likely a choppy environment right now until it proves otherwise. The buyers are currently trapped over 400. If we reclaim those levels, we go into complete chop fest again. Just sat still waiting. We've just tapped into yesterday's anchored VWAP, 370 as average price of participants from all of yesterday from the New York session. 'Still holding that opening range high for now. If you're an orb trader, I guess you could argue it's a long here. I don't like it, but you could argue there's a long here. Coming to back test that orb now. I am not trusting this market one bit right now. Not for an inside bar like this. Nine minutes until we get that new hourly bar. This hourly bar having a nice big drive up. $400 coming up here then. Has ES swept that liquidity now? I think almost close, not quite, almost. Remember, buyers are stuck up above us here, and if we start to reclaim these levels, they will no longer be stuck. They will be allowed to get out very, very comfortably. Feels like we're going for gap fill here. It really feels like we're just going to reclaim everything. This will, if we reclaim, I really don't want to trade like yesterday again, but we're going back into those same chop fest levels. If we reclaim though, we'll wait for the new hourly bar. If it shows that it wants to go up to 490, then maybe I'll trade. There's still 100 points available if it wants to do that move. Big if right now. Right now it looks like it's going for gap fill. ES now sweeping out all that liquidity. VIX absolutely pathetic. And we're back into yesterday's range, and it will be a chop fest here if it cannot sort itself out. This hourly bar very, very strong, gunning for all those stops like we talked about. But like I said, I don't trust this yet. It's definitely not having trust in this yet. I would not be surprised for the next hour to do a full retrace, knowing what this market's like. But let's see. Can't play something that's not there. Coming back towards that opening range. We did just fill the new week opening gap, by the way. You can see the top of the grey bar all the way up to the top. Do they start to fade this now? This is the thing. Back to the opening range here. If they're going to start to fade this, it would not surprise me. Like we said, the buyers are trapped above. In and around 400, a rejection around there will show that the buyers are trapped. That's what we're starting to see, but momentum's still upside lower time frame, so we can't trade this yet, and we're getting into a new hourly bar. They make it very, very tricky. Remember, this is where buyers are trapped. We talked about it above here. So if we reject this, there is a trade all the way down, but we would need to have something to play off to take that trade. If they do like a V shape or a reverse V shape down, it's going to be very hard to trade it. Oh, no need to say sorry at all, Trentry. It's just, you know, when I say, if I say a level and time and you're saying an hour before, it just can confuse people. I know Top Step use Central Time as well. I don't know why. Just try and, if you can, try and use New York time when quoting stuff out, just to help people who don't understand. I always quote New York time. Otherwise, I'd be quoting Pacific time. Okay, I would say ES, previous day low, over under will be your key trigger here. And we've got just over 5 minutes. I'm just going to wait for this new hourly bar. It's just over 5 minutes. I would say there's probably a good short setting up here. I really think there's probably a very good short setting up here if they're going to play ball. If they're going to play ball. This would be the move I would want to see. Reject the buyers, or like come up to the buyers and have them stay heavy as supply to go lower. We're just going to wait, or I'm going to wait for some form of momentum here to play. Do not want to sort of hit the ask against the bid right now, which is lifting and lifting and lifting. VIX as well, just trading downside. So I'm trying to be patient. I know what I'm looking for, a bit like yesterday. If it doesn't turn up, it doesn't turn up. Remember, I'm trying to get a pro trend move here, which is why I'm waiting to see if there's a rejection. If there's no rejection, then there's no trade. Right? And that's so far no confirmation. All we've done is hold the opening range. The last pullback held the opening range of the white line. Like I said, if you're an opening range trader with a long bias right now, you would be buying this white line for that move. I'm looking for the opening range to fail. I'm looking for something like this potentially. A few more minutes till we get new hourly. I'm just going to get a refill while we wait for this. Yeah, I know the futures market is based in Chicago, but when is cash traded in the market? When do people trade 0DTEs? When do people trade commons? When do people trade all those things? 9:30, New York Open. That will change soon when they go 24 hours, but I still think all the volume would be done at 9:30. It's why my previous day close is not 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock if you're in Chicago. It's why it's 4 o'clock in New York. It's why gap fill is to 4 o'clock New York. It's why that is different to a normal daily candle. I think I'm probably one of the only people I know that do it. Cash is king. Cash is volume. Starting to see failing to move higher here. I hope they prop it up here into the new hour. I'd love the next hourly bar to look something like this. That would be amazing. Like a little peek through and a big, big dive down. But what I'd like to see and what I see probably won't line up. Okay, back to the opening range again. ES coming back down towards its VWAP and previous day low. Remember, I think that will be a trigger. If ES starts to let go of VWAP and previous day low, that might be a bit of a trigger. But we're still early. We're still, look, flow zones are still pointing upside. Remember, we're on a 2 minute here. Tried to clean it up with a bit of a 2 minute this morning. But if you go to a 1 minute, we're supporting bids off flow zones right now. It can change So far, this is all bullish. Everything here is bullish. This is bullish. This can be bullish, starting to fail, can be bearish. It's going to be very hard because the timeframes will not be in agreement for a little bit. They are still holding that orb for now. Why has my anchor VWAP moved on NinjaTrader? It's really annoying when it does that. Very annoying. All right, starting to see some fails here. Watching ES into the anchor into the VWAP and previous day low. If they start letting go of this, there may be a deeper drive down. Big ifs still for now. This is the first test of it. There's good structure there as well. But just based on the daily, all I'm thinking about is what a daily bar would look like if we let go of it. I'm not really thinking about anything else right now. Right? Watching this carefully. They're going to let go. Are they going to let go? Are they going to do that little spike up and leave a wick high on this hourly candle? That's what I'd love. I would absolutely love that if they can do it. Like we just talked about, what will that look like? Watching these 400s. I don't want a sustained bid above 400. Like above value area high and previous day point of control, any sustained bid is very, very bullish. I want a wick left on this hourly candle and a move lower. Just like what we might see here. Beautiful. All right, I'm starting to look at this now more aggressively. Starting to get a little piece on here. Fantastic. Right, if we can let go of flow zones, there's a really nice move here. If we can let go of flow zones. If we can't, then I'm not interested. If we reclaim the orb, I'll just cut it straight away and wait for it to build out maybe in the next 15-minute bar. Very close to cutting there. Watching ES into VWAP and previous day low here, folks. Watching ES into VWAP and previous day low here. All right, cutting this now. I know you're fighting against trend. I know exactly what you're thinking, but I'm just playing for this hourly bar. I'm kind of ignoring the M1 for now. Like I said, break even there, it's fine. ES still holding VWAP, so maybe I might set price alert on that. And wait for it to let go. Wow, glad I cut there. Someone got trapped. Okay, previous day high now tag. This can still be a huge H1. This feels like news. This can still be a huge H1 candle wick. This has got to be news with a swipe like that. What are we seeing here? I'm not seeing anything. There are signs the US could be interested in a deal with EU. Is it that? It's 10 minutes ago. Can't be that. Look at the volume in there. There's no way that's nothing. So glad I took that break even. That would have probably run me over. Can still leave a candle wick higher here, which is mad. We just pretty much filled the gap there to PDC. I'm still not seeing anything. EU prepares for proposal for US to steer momentum into talks. Okay, there you go. All right, so it's tariff talk. That whole trade. I think that trade was coming until that hit. So that goes out the window now. If we're going to cancel all tariffs with the EU, then we'd probably go upside. Let's just see. What an amazing time to break that news. Thank God I had my stop in break even. This can still be an hourly wick as well, by the way, folks. Like, it's just going to be way bigger than anticipated. If we break down under here on the right chart, it can still be an hourly wick. to search higher. If they find bids here and hold bids here, though, all shorts are out the window because we've just reclaimed levels. So I'm not thinking about a short right now. It will have to really prove to me now. I was thinking that we were going to let go of that opening range and offer that H1 reversal back down, but I'm not thinking that right now. Not if there's positive news, like we said. News catalyst is what can move us out of this range. On a reversal trade like that, yes, Phenom, I move to break even pretty much straight away. If I'm looking at a reversal trade rather than playing momentum, in momentum trades, I'll give it space. If I'm buying pro trend, I'll give it room on the dip. But if I'm playing reversals, they're very hard to time. I'm very aggressive with my stops. This is just holding all bids now, about to reclaim new week opening gap. Remember, the 400 was kind of the level. My mic's cutting off. Really? It looks good to me. I'm not sure. Is everyone hearing that as well? 450 seller just came on the tape. Yeah. Like on my end, it looks fine. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's good for everyone else. Probably your internet. Sorry, dude. Okay, flow zone still holding. Man, maybe they're going to go onto a big old squeeze and go for all the way up here then. If we've got a positive news catalyst. I'm waiting to see more news come in about this. It's a bit odd how that hit because it hit on financial juice like 10 minutes ago. So Germany Chancellor Merz on tariffs. There are signs that the US could be interested in a deal with the EU. No reaction to it. And then the EU prepares a trade proposal with the US to steer momentum talks. Boom, straight up for a swipe. Bit weird. 10 minutes later, we react. But yeah, I'm definitely not shorting against this now. You know, we've reclaimed the levels. We're into momentum. We've had a positive news catalyst. Definitely not looking for a short here. So ES holding previous day low and VWAP, rejecting high time frame algo for now. We almost got to Globex and PDC. All right, this is Globex high and PDC right here. Value area high, point of control. No bids found above there. We can still get the play. All right, but I'm going to have to wait for it to prove itself to me. It can still offer that play I was originally looking at, but it's going to have to prove itself because if we're going to hear really positive news catalysts on tariffs and we're thinking about short side, we are the ones that are probably going to get absolutely wrecked. So I would need to see a very strong momentum candle drive down, a break of this with the ES breaking the lows and something like this. Otherwise, I'm not thinking, there's no way I'm guessing up here. Like we said, 400 was a big level. If we start reclaiming, there is definitely a bigger squeeze on. And where can it go? Well, almost took out these stops here. Next level would be these guys and these guys. These were the 490s, 500s we were looking for yesterday. I would say if we take these guys out, we're going to get to there because there's a lot of stops. It will probably instantly give us momentum to get to there. We're just going to have to be extra patient now that that news has come. There was nothing scheduled for today. So I would imagine I would guess a lot of people were looking for the same thing I was looking for and they just got swiped. Look at the amount of stops that got ran in this candle here. Right here, they probably have stops at higher day and got wrecked. We're bullish at the moment. I'm trying to see if there's any more than just like that headline. Where's that headline come from? Like it's on like all the squawks and stuff like that, but there's no quote on it. And what does that even mean? EU prepares trade proposal for the US to steer momentum into talks. I mean, what does that mean? It's a proposal. We don't know what's in the proposal. We don't know how aggressive it is. We don't know if people are going to agree. Is it reciprocal? Like, what's in it? It's so funny, man. Came within a tick of your take profit. I mean, you might still got it. You're looking for a gap fill, I'm assuming, Phenom, or you're looking for Globex, maybe. I know, Julian. I know. It's just, it's the way of the market. It's how it is. It's why you've got to use hard stops. We talk about it all the time. I'm amazed by the amount of people that do not use hard stops. You can't predict stuff like that. News can drop at any moment. I would have got absolutely run over. I'm sure the slippage on that would have been massive. That would have probably cost me 70 plus points or something. How big's that candle? ATR there was 80. All right, seeing some selling coming back in. Again, I'm watching VWAP on the ES as a potential trigger. VWAP and previous day low as potential triggers if they're going to rotate this. But right now, we're starting to build in and around 400. If we get acceptance above that, there is a drive higher. Low hanging fruit right now. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Jack. Low hanging fruit right now would be PDC, Globex and PDC, which we haven't taken. So I'm also aware of that. More news coming here. We plan to spend 1.5% of GDP on infrastructure with military. This is all from Germany. The EU prepares a trade deal for the US to stick. Why has that been posted again? These lot are desperate for the market to go up, or what? They're just reposting the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. All right, back down to the opening range. Here comes ES into VWAP. If they let go of VWAP, it's going to test the previous day low. If they let go of that, that's when we have an outside bar. Risky biscuits. Still higher lows and higher highs right now. No momentum shift. All right, still holding flow zone, still above the opening range. It is Yulimar. Yeah, it's absolutely desperate for some positive news, isn't it? I mean, it is hilarious when you look at the market and you go, we're up really high because we've paused tariffs or we've paused at 10%, but there's no solution yet. So what happens if in a few days' time or 30 days' time, whenever that 90-day pause ends, if they go, hey, we haven't done a deal, or we've done a deal and this is what it looks like and we don't like it. I'll tell you what happens. The air comes out the balloon. The air comes completely out the balloon. This rally is huge off a lot of unknowns right now. And it's something we have to like just put in the back of our mind. Do I think we can get to all-time highs? Absolutely. All right, ES back to VWAP, back to that previous day low. It's getting a little bit edgy here, folks. These are the levels we were talking about. It pretty much coincides with this swing low and this opening range right here. You can see we're not getting acceptance over previous day point of control. That's where the volume shelf is. Most of the volume was traded at that orange line yesterday, right here. Google having a day though, almost 3% up. We knew that move last week was bollocks. They sold it for no reason. Just washed the weak hands out. Apple not too far away, 1/3% down. Microsoft 1/3% down. Here comes previous day low check, folks. Here comes the previous day low check. Finding a bid off it for now. So strength staying in the market for now. Remember, if they let go of previous day low on the ES, we go into an outside bar. If they hold it, we are an inside bar. They are big, big, big levels. Was that an equal low there on ES? It's a higher low still. If they start selling it here, you probably get the lower high set, and shorts would need the break of structure to the downside for the lower low. Otherwise, we just drift all the way back up. Remember, we've had a positive news catalyst this morning that was no one was expecting. I don't think. Well, I'd say positive. It's been treated like a positive catalyst. Nothing's really been said here of anything meaningful. Potential lower high set here on the ES then. If they get their break of structure to the downside, they will be breaking the previous day low. You can get a bigger move lower at that point. That will coincide with that big wick on the hourly that I'm looking for with a close under. I'm looking for this candle to become red or white in my case and drive lower. That's what I think is possible if the ES is going to let go. They keep absorbing VWAP. This sounds like yesterday. Can you notice the patter? They're absorbing VWAP. They're absorbing VWAP on the ES. They're absorbing VWAP. Like, it's the same thing. No follow through. No follow through yet in this market. It's thinned out quite a bit. There's some buyers down at 60s and there's sellers up at 90s right now. And there's not a whole lot in between. We're talking about 6 lot and 7 lots. It's kind of pathetic. Absorbing VWAP again on the ES. Who'd have guessed it? Just a lack of follow through. I think they wanted to, honestly, I think they wanted to do the move I was talking about today to move lower. The question is, does that news change anything? For me, it's not positive enough to really have a big impact, but it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what the chart does. And right now, ES will not let go of previous day low. In fact, it's not even tested it yet. If this builds a bear flag on ES or on NQ here, and we keep failing like versus these levels, there is the move. But so far, this is a higher low. And you have to respect it. And the flow zones are still pointing up. You have to respect it. The longer we're up here, the more comfortable those bulls that were stuck yesterday are. Maybe Julian, but I mean, the longer we're up, the worse it is for that short rotation play. The longer we're basing up here, the worse it is. What you want to see is drives up that are sold into. Just look at this book, like stacking up at 80s and 85. What you want to see is a big order lower to act like a magnet right now. All right, ES trying to set that bear flag. I will play this if we start to break down. All right, if we start to break down, I'll get involved here. If we keep absorbing VWAP and previous day low on the ES, there's not going to be a trade here. It's got lots of structure. So I need the H1 to play out. If the H1 doesn't play out, then there's no trade. Still absorbing. They're absorbing VWAP. Someone doesn't want this to go down this morning. There you go. Absorbed VWAP on the ES again. So I'd say that wick to wick on ESK 33.25. They break that, they're going to go upside. If they break previous day low 27.25, then I think there's a move down into 20s and maybe much lower if the higher time frame sellers come in. But if not, we're going to do this dance all day. This is remember, we're into the range that we're at yesterday. This is not where we want to hang out. All right, mate. Fuck you know. Everyone in chat's an expert today. Let's see if we get the wash here. ES back to VWAP. Looking for the breakdown. Yeah, trading NQ. I'm just watching ES for confluence because I need it to create an outside bar on the daily. Still not doing it. Still absorption. Still absorption here. They're not willing to let this H1 bar drive down. Still hanging around the key levels. Still producing higher lows for now. ES still holding VWAP, still basing above previous day low. It's still an inside bar until it does that. Yeah, it absolutely does. For now, it looks like a bull flag. That's it. Can't trade it unless it breaks down. The momentum right now is upside. The problem is the location for that move now. But if they're going to get, a face ripper, then they can look for that move to 50s. But I'm watching the ES, and the ES is really struggling here. And Google's just holding this whole market up, 3% up. Yeah, VIX went all the way down, found a bid, and it's just trading sideways now. What are we doing, man? Into yesterday's shitty range again. No follow through either way. Come on, market, please just do something. Either go and take out 450 or go and break down, but please don't fucking do this again all day. I will absolutely go mental. Don't care what you do. Just do a move to some actual decent level of liquidity. Just waiting for something to come here, something to be offered. Yes, trying to reclaim that level we just talked about. It looks bullish now. It's trying to reclaim. Remember, failure to make a new high is where bulls will get trapped, but the momentum is upside. It's consolidated above the new week opening gap, above the opening range now, above the flow zones, above the VWAP, above the previous day low. Everything right now is saying potential upside move. Where can it move up to? Well, if it's going to get going, here is the liquidity. These guys up here, really. This is where they all got stuck yesterday, and we are not bidding above previous day point of control. We've had one swipe and a fail. These remain supply. So I don't like the long here, and I don't like the short until we roll over. So this just, it becomes a bit of a nothing play right now. Do they want to be efficient and fill the gap? I guess that's the question. Oh, man. Nothing happening here. This is literally Groundhog Day. You can see it on the daily. This is everything I didn't want to happen today. I did not want to go sideways at 400. This is Groundhog Day. This is just like yesterday at this point, unless something changes. It's going to be so boring, man. If we can't break 450s to 490s, and if we can't break down underneath the orb and ES doesn't let go of previous day low, we just go sideways all day, and there's just no trade to be had in this location. Come on, make a decision. ES failing to make a higher high there, but not making a lower low yet either. We're going to go into a wedge just like yesterday of higher lows and lower highs. This is just painful. Yes, coming back to test its VWAP potentially here and previous day low. Maybe we're going to get that breakdown if they're going to let go. Big if, buts, and maybes. Do they just absorb VWAP again? So far, the answer is yes. Again, outside bar. I want an outside bar. I do not want an inside bar. Please, no inside bars. No more inside bars, market maker. Okay, here comes previous day low check. Are we going to get an outside bar? Are you going to do the move after faffing around? Previous day low check here on the ES. If we let go of this, which we're trying to do, and we let go of that lower time frame algo, there is a deeper drive in this market. Like I said, the higher time frame, deeper drive would be for an outside bar on the daily to let go. If they don't do that, they're going to trap down here. It is possible. It is absolutely possible for this H1 bar to leave a very high wick and drive down. I'm in disagreement with saying that it feels particularly bullish just because of the higher time frame. Because of this, we expected this wick. This is where people are trapped. All right, this can be a return into sell. Until we do this, we're not technically bullish. It can change very quickly. I don't disagree that it can change, but I would not call this necessarily bullish. All I would say is this isn't a location I want to short in. If we can do something like this, maybe. If we reclaim, bullish for sure. In here, just like yesterday in here, no thank you. No thank you. Look at that yesterday. If we do this again, no thank you. Nina Danka. Nina Danka. The hardest thing right now is that we got so close to Globex high and previous day close without filling it. And it's left a low hanging fruit very, very close with a wick high there as well. This is like acts as a draw on liquidity, which makes it very, very close. The other thing like we talked about, I don't know, some of you might be late, but like if we go to the hourly, right, we've got this big old expanding on the hourly. I just want to show you the ES though on the hourly. Very different. Starting to potentially break down with clear liquidity to aim for. All right. Starting to break down with clear liquidity to aim for on the hourly on the ES. Very, very different chart. I would love to execute something. But other than that wick, we have basically been in a 20, 30 point range for 45 minutes. Yes, now back to previous day low again. I'm telling you, if they start liquidating this, this is where there's a bigger move on the daily. It really just depends what they're going to do. If Google starts giving back. If they keep protecting previous day low, we remain as an inside bar. I cannot explain that enough. There's a big difference between an outside bar and an inside bar. Gut says we want to break down, but the news is not bearish. It's being absorbed as positive news. That will not help any form of breakdown. Still holding above the opening range right now. Still holding flow zones. Still absorbing around previous day low on the ES. Until that is a clear momentum shift, there's nothing to do in here. It's trying though. It is trying to let go. Look at Google though, 3.2% up. It's just holding NQ up today. 3.3% up now. This thing's flying. Google just not willing today to play ball. Apple 0.5% down, Microsoft 0.5% down, Amazon 1% down, Nvidia 0.15% down, Tesla 0.18%, Google 3.33% up. This thing's just screaming right now. Absolutely screaming, dragging the market up with it. That's what I mean. Look at the previous day low on the ES. You can see how absolutely vital it is right now. Reabsorbed it again. They clearly do not want an outside bar. They know if they keep this as an inside bar, they can keep holding up. If they trap enough shorts there, there's a squeeze higher. And there's levels to aim for on the NQ, like we've talked about. It got so close to PDC and Globex. Fuck, Google almost 3.5% up on that last drive. This is strong. Strong relative strength when you think Qs are down today. Oh, the whole market's red today. Google up, having a big day. Look at this range, man. This is... I'm trying not to get frustrated like yesterday, but I already want to leave. Look at what we're doing. I just talked about it. What did we do at this same point yesterday? This same rubbish. Same crap. You're seeing divergence in the tape. Oh. Yes, back to previous day low again. Look at the divergence. Previous day low for NQ is all the way down here. There's a pre-save link. I'll pop it in chat in a bit. ES maybe bear flag here underneath previous day low. Will the NQ join? Will the NQ join in here? Breaking on the ES now underneath previous day low. It's exactly what I wanted to see, but the NQ relative strength. Why? Because Google's an absolute monster right now. It is being an absolute monster. It does not want to let go. Google now 3.76% up. Sorry, 3.15% up. Where did that come from? That was a weird flash on my screen. And absorbed again. Anyone else want to blow their brains out watching this price action, or just me? Day 6 of crap, of just the worst price action known to man. Everything I didn't want to see today. Come on. Let go previous day low and break down. Give us a trade that's actually half decent here, please, market. Or don't, or just break out above 490. That's also okay with me. Just don't do nothing. ES new low on the day here, attacking its low of day into the New York Open here on the ES. The ES playing ball, breaking down underneath the previous day low. You can see it's an outside bar on the ES. This is what I wanted to see on the H1. If this H1 goes red, there is a bigger drive lower here. But NQ, relative strength in terms of positioning, all due to Google. If they let go of that, there's probably a bigger move down. Still holding the orb here. I still think there is a bigger move down here in this market today. I'm going to say it. Now back to the orb. There is a bigger move down in this market. But Google's got to stop having all the strength holding the whole thing up. The market rolls, we go outside day. It can be really, really good. It can be a classic day on a Wednesday midpoint. But you've got relative strength. Look at the difference between ES and NQ right now. Initial balance now set as well. We're just trading sideways. We're holding that anchored view up off the New York Open print. There's still, unfortunately, no trade available here right now. I would love to be thinking about a short here, but I cannot think about a short all the time. We're holding above the opening range and we're just chopping here. There's no short to be had here. It's absolute suicide to attempt anything here right now. And I'm going to say something that I've also felt like I've been saying a lot recently. How much better has the ES been as a trader? It's just trading technically perfect. Absolutely perfect. NQ's not being a very nice player right now. Leaving liquidity up here. Not breaking down under here like the ES is. It's just being a pain in the butt to trade recently. It's just how it is. ES really starting to be very, very nice. It's getting stuck underneath the previous day low now. If every back-tested previous day low gets sold into, you're going to get expansion lower. Right? If they keep absorbing the New York Open, it would be problematic. But it just looks much, much better. Yeah, AQ's being just full on stupid recently. How is everyone? I'm just bored. Alex is frustrated and bored, waiting for a trade, which will not come. NQ is just absorbing here. So can't play it. Don't trust the upside. Not with the divergence in the tape. ES backtesting previous day low, getting rejected there as well. SPY the same. SPY rejecting previous day low. If they close heavy on a 5-minute bar on the spiders, then that will be your confirmation, I would say, that the spiders want to move lower. It's what you're starting to see. It is definitely what you're starting to see. We're still absorbing the orb here. I still think there's a break lower here. I'm very interested at the moment. ES looking great. And it's just the struggle is with NQ. How can I trade this with NQ? And it's holding its anchored view up, and it's holding the orb, and it's holding the high time frame algo. But ES absolutely perfect there. Drove into previous day low and sold. Google so strong, so strong. Yeah, Bowden. Yeah, I'm sure there was. I actually ended up having a very good day yesterday. I think I locked in about $4,000, and most of it came from this here. I think this is it. Yeah, most of it came from this and this for these moves here. Posted it live in Discord, so hopefully some of the students got it as well. It's just one of the things at the moment. You've got to be very, very patient. I can show you here. So we were looking for one of these to play out once we got stuck underneath IB and the trend line here. We got the sell signal. You can see I started selling. I covered some and then added back on, and then got the cover towards the IB low and locked in. A pretty nice day in the end. But it required patience. So yesterday morning was just like this. Let me just close this down. This aircon's blasting. Am I trading minis? Depends on the account. On the 150Ks where I've got a nice big buffer, yeah. On the 50Ks, I'm not. So I've got a few pending payouts at the moment. I took a couple of payouts yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. And I got a few, and I'm going to put in some more requests today. How many more can I put in today? You can go in. You can go in. Yeah, I've got a few more requests to go on today, which is nice. All right, breaking out here. Look at the divergence. NQ, again, would not let go of VWAP or the opening range or deep flow zone pullbacks. It's holding this. There's your IB high. It's trying to get up to here. It looks very, very different to this right now. All right, here's your previous day low. Right, sorry, in here. If this starts reclaiming here, it can offer a squeeze as well. They just look so different that I'm not really interested. Back to the initial balance high. We're just still in a balanced day right now. Most of the volume of the day has been created here. All right, so if we get outside of that volume with a sustained bid, we can probably close the gap and get up to 490s. If we get downside on this volume, these are basically your plays you've got to wait for. This and if I can draw it, and this, and then you've got failures and failures. And why am I not touching that? I hate trading range. And if we look left, where did we chop all of yesterday? All of yesterday, all of the day before. This is all the same range. This is where buyers are stuck. I don't really want to trade in and around these levels, right? Not really. I think it's a recipe for disaster trading there, at least for me. I like momentum. Until I get momentum, I'm not going to come into this market. Just nice and slow. And I'm sure there's other channels that you can go on right now which are telling you to click buttons and do this and do that. And maybe they make money and maybe they lose some. But for me, I would rather sit still as long as possible until it absolutely screams at me to take a trade. Just like yesterday, I had to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And eventually we built that right shoulder and liquidity and we got underneath the initial balance. There was clear momentum. There was clear failure. There was clear buyers trapped. And then we attack it and we lock in money. Right? Otherwise, man, like, I don't know. Like, no. There was a long here, don't get me wrong. But like, what was I saying? I want the long up clear some of this liquidity out, and then we're going to look for the pro trend for the move back downside, because buyers are stuck up here. So yeah, you could take that counter trend up to where buyers are stuck, sure, but I wanted to be focused on that pro trend, especially on the opening drive. Remember, this all happened in the first 15 minutes, and since then we've done absolutely nothing. We're starting to roll. Remember, if we get stuck here, this is where we go deeper. We're starting to see some tapering. "15 minutes until a new hourly bar." Look at this hourly bar. It's trying to go red. It is trying to go red. It's trying to do what I want. Big red hourly bar would be absolutely amazing with a long wick on top for that drive lower. But until it proves itself, we can't do a bloody thing. Still holding view up, still holding opening range, still holding deep flow zone pullbacks. Still not letting go of anything. Let's have a look at the liquidity on the book. There's still a seller up at 450, but it's only a 50 lot, but that is the biggest size on the book this morning. I can't see anyone bigger than him on the book right now. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've moved this incorrectly. 323s. Is that right? Seems off to me, that new week opening gap. All right, ES about to break down, or at least test its breakdown level. If they don't find a bid here, we're going to go back down to initial balance on the ES at least. If they find a bid here, then we're going to go and back test that previous day low for the millionth time this morning as the chop continues. It's fun trading chop, isn't it, folks? Do you trade above the IBH and below the IBL? Yes, absolutely. For either continuation or reversal plays. Continuation or failed auctions. ES coming back down to test where it found a bid from so far this morning. If it does not find a bid here, if these buyers that have been in the market this morning become sellers, you get a deeper drive. If they keep finding a bid here, the chop will continue. This is boring. So boring. Let's do something NQ, cause I'm bored. Jeez. This is boring. I literally want to bang my head on a wall with this price action. Google now 3.70% up. Tesla not too far away from going red to green. Nvidia not too far away from going red to green. Meta over 0.5% up. Microsoft 0.5% down. Amazon 1.25% down. Apple 0.5% down. Complete mixed bag. VIX is finding a bid there at that support level at 1840, bidding up towards 1860. Previous day high is 1868. Breakout of that, maybe we can start to squeeze a bit higher on the VIX, which would cause a sell-off if they're going to time it. New low of day approach here on the ES. It's trying to drive down for this little break, and if it breaks this, we're going IB low on the ES. There's the break. There you go. And will the NQ participate? Probably not. It's shown an unwillingness to participate all morning. It'd be nice if it would, because then we'll get an outside day. But look at this, breaking down on the ES and NQ doing F flipping all. Why is that? Because Google has so much strength, it is just holding the NQ up right now. Come on, NQ, please. I would love a play today. You've just gone sideways for an hour. It feels like an options burn day, and we're not even in, you know, that kind of level of OPEX. Come on. All right. Are you going to do it now? Back to the opening range, back to the deep pullback, back to VWAP. Oh, and they've soaked again. Oh my God. Pass the gun. VIX breaking out previous day high now. Why are we trading the NQ? It's an absolute piece of shit this week. I have to ask myself that when I say I'm going to stick with one vehicle to trade. Days like this and days like yesterday make me think, why are you doing that? I do it because most of the time I understand its personality and how it wants to move. Days like today and yesterday, I really do wonder why I'm not trading a different vehicle. There you go. It's held it again. We have not moved. I hope you all understand how tight this range is on NQ. For NQ to basically ranging from 80 to 400, 20-point range or 30-point with extension, right? That is your average stop. It's so bad. It is so bad. Yeah, like Trentry, go and check out my video on initial balance. But yes, if I was going to trade initial balance, right, that would be your auction. That would be your failed auction. So auction would be above, failed auction would be dive below, like entry here or entry below, risking that for rotation to VWAP. Failure of VWAP would be your rotation to IB low. Failed auction under here would be this. If we're going to be a classic inside day, it would be this D shape. Point of control be here, or sell day would be underneath. Okay, I think I'm going to break out now. I can't believe I'm saying that given what the ES just did, but NQ gave me money yesterday. It did. I made good money on NQ yesterday. You're right, but it doesn't mean it's a nice trader. I generally don't like sitting at the screens for 5 hours a day, but I will sit still. I've learnt my lesson. I will sit still as long as I need to. I will not trade garbage. But it's just like today, I'm looking at thinking, if I was trading ES, where would I have got short? I probably would have started a short at like 35, 935. I probably would have added at 30s. I probably would have taken some covers into 26s. I probably would have added again at 30s. And I would have just taken a cover underneath 19. So it's given really nice moves. And we're in a clear downtrend channel on the ES since that 10 a.m. sort of spike candle. Here we go. Relative strength. All right, Nvidia now green. Google green, Meta green, Nvidia green, Tesla green. They're driving this market up right now. Tech trying to rally here. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, all laggers. Like I said, NQ has PDC and Globex and that spike high to aim for. What is going on here? That chart looks completely wrong. That is weird. Okay, I've got a print all the way up to 441. Let me see if NQ1 has that print. That is awful. Come on, TradingView. Okay, I have this print on Ninja. This is NQ1. Look at the NQM contract. Where's that print gone? Where has that print got? That is terrible, folks. That is terrible. How can you have centralized data and have this print wrong? Wow. I'd love TradingView to explain that one to me. That is an absolute joke. We're only on one contract. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. So just in case you are on TradingView and you cannot see it, all right, there was a print this morning to 441.25. Just mark it out, 441.25 up here. I can just draw a little. Is there a vertical line I can do or something? Let's just draw it. It will be, what time was this? 02s. This candle. Maybe that'll do. All right, that candle's all the way up there. So that you have it on your chart, or if you're looking at mine, that's where that wick is. That is some shoddy action. 10:01 for you, Greg. Yeah, same with me. I don't know. I'm sure that wasn't like that a minute ago. I'm sure they've just fluffed that data now. Let's have a look. See if we can go back enough to get it. There it is. That's NQ1. No, I can't find it. That is some shoddy data, isn't it? Imagine if you hadn't seen that. You'd be absolutely livid. I mean, I can move us to an NQ1 contract. The problem is I don't have my drawings on an NQ1, but we can move it like this if you'd rather. That's fine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Ken. Yeah, you all have it. Good. For some reason, the NQM contract on TradingView doesn't have it. All right, yes, back to VWAP. Nothing's changed here, folks. I don't think anything is going to change in this market until we get a big news catalyst, and there's nothing scheduled. Let's have a little look. Where are we up to? 21st. PMI tomorrow, jobless claims. Maybe we move a bit on that, but no guarantee we move out of daily range on that. Friday, nothing. Monday, holiday day, so even worse conditions then on Monday. I tell you what, I can remember a day where they absolutely dunked the market on a Memorial Day when no one was at the desk, so I will be aware of that. Tuesday, consumer confidence, no. Wednesday, next week, Fed minutes, no. Thursday, jobless claims, Friday, PCE, core PCE, maybe next Friday. And PMI, maybe next Friday. Obviously, Trump can move the market before then. Am I going the right way? It's fixed, yeah. Yeah, not a lot right now. Nvidia earnings on Wednesday. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Oh, look at that. Hello, market. Just woke up, did we? All right, gap now filled. PDC now hit. So swiped that high. Thank God we have it in. PDC and Globex now hit. Really, if they're going to do something, they should really just keep driving. Now, the next level to drive to, I don't have them on here. This is the problem. I'm going to have to draw these for you. Really, you're looking at these. All right, so they've absorbed. Bullish absorption when ES was weak. Relative strength when the ES was weak. If they absorb here, this is your target for an upside move today if they're going to do it. Just remember, I'm going to keep saying it, remember where you are. You're in this. All right, so really you'd want to see some form of pullback, build liquidity, and then come and drive these. You've got to take a partial into 490 if you're looking at this long side. So it's day 2 of it not breaking down. We did talk about this morning, right at the beginning of the stream. I said it is notable that shorts cannot take control of this market, so you cannot force your way into it. If it doesn't want to break down, it doesn't want to break down. And it's a crowded trade. I think it's probably the same story. Everyone's looking for that play. It won't do it, so everyone gets squeezed out. Thank God we are very patient in this team here, and we wait for confirmation. There's nothing, not a thing this morning that is confirmed. Look at liquidity on the book. They want to send this higher now. Look at the VIX. Going for that gap fill. I know I'm sat here like a bit of a lemon, but I do not like trading range. I do not like trading inside days. We talked about it yesterday. I would rather just be very, very patient and not trade at all and trade my setup, what I like trading, then force my way into something. I know if I wait for my setup, I have like a 78% win rate. I know if I force my way into something I don't like trading, I will probably lose. Even if the setup's there, I'll probably lose because I don't like trading it. Flow zones remain bullish. If you were a dip buyer playing, like we talked about, if you were playing that opening range long this morning, it was good. It was good. It wasn't, it's just not a level I'm comfortable playing. Only because I'm observing the higher time frames. But right now, like I would be so surprised if they don't come and take 490 today at this point. We've got this far up. There's so many stops up here at this point here. There's so many stops. Look at all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of stops up there. I think we talked about this in Discord this morning. Where is it? If they don't break down, there you go. Rotation from lows will be all the way up to 500. All right, and if we reclaim 500, we probably go for high of week. Right? If we find bids over 500, we probably go high of week. If we fail the rotation, if we do a failed auction, though, we'll just go back into chop range. I'm not gonna. I'm just no way I'm attempting a short here. There's no way I'm attempting a long here. I'm not gonna put my capital at risk on sessions like this. The daily is still inside. Right? I would rather wait. Look where we are. 1 day, 2 day expand both ways, 3 day inside, 4 day expand both ways inside, 5th day fail breakout of the high, 6th day inside. Think about how many people are in here right now. This will be amazing. This will be even better because then Alex can be greedy and buy it back long term, which is what I'd love. We've seen it when it does this numerous times when we're at highs and we go sideways for a while. You've got to be careful. It can take a while to build. Even this on a bigger time frame. Here. Pull back finally. Here. See, look at this. Breakout, retest. It's just classic. Here. Even this. We can do it for a while. We can do it for a while. The hardest thing for the bulls is going to be, if you swing long from these levels, you look so good. Buying a breakout here versus this is very, very difficult. buying a breakout pullback up here is easy because it's all-time highs and there's no overhead supply. This is overhead supply right now. Probably why it's so choppy. So choppy. All right, so it looks like it's going to go for those 490s. I want to make sure I give you the exact correct levels here. If you're in this, 474, 483, 487, basically. You look good. It's in a squeezer. They trap shorts looking for that breakdown again. Failed to break down, and we go up. It's been the play. It's been, honestly, it has been the play all week. But it's very, very hard to take up at these levels. But you know, where do shorts get trapped? When we fail to break down. So there was no breakdown here, which is why I didn't think about the short. Well, I did think about it, but why I didn't take it. There was no breakdown. This didn't break under here. Same with these. Oh, like even on, what should we go to 15-minute? Right, it's been the same play the whole time that's got short stuck. We talked about right at the beginning of the stream. Need my pen. There's your liquidity level. There's the failed breakdown. Buyers came in. There's the liquidity level. There's the failed breakdown. Buyers came in. I don't know. We didn't come to this liquidity well. We protected it. Buyers come in. All right. Shorts cannot take control of this market. They are falling over themselves, causing squeezes higher. Absolutely. Google now 4.63% up. What a monster. Absolute monster. You would want to see pullbacks hold here if you're bullish, looking for that 490 push. You're getting pretty close. You're getting pretty close. Nice expansion on this hourly. You just want it to go and rip these guys out, really. You've got weakness in the yes. It's just not joining in. It is not joining in for you. This is really all on Google. Google's causing this drive. Hey. Flat day for me. If we come back and hold PDC and IB, maybe I'd consider it. And through 490, you got previous week close, previous week high up above 530s, and that'll be the breakout. So I'll see if we build some liquidity around 440, maybe I think about joining long if we don't take all this liquidity. If we're going to leave that liquidity and we can come back in here and do something like this, maybe I'll think about a long at that point for partials into here, because then we've got a clear breakout, something to risk off with liquidity to aim for with clear momentum. It's not an ideal location on the higher time frame, I'm going to be honest, but the draw feels more probable, but I'm going to have to see a bullish setup for it to build some liquidity level out. Wow, that's while I was reading an email, we went Never pulled back. Okay, liquidity now swept. So I don't really like the pullback long into the IB now. This is gonna be one of those days, man. It's gonna be one of those days, man. 500's coming up. It's gonna go for equal highs now. Want the momentum long at this point, but it's gone. Previous week close here being tapped. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You gotta laugh. Taking all the liquidity. The only thing left now. Bitcoin new all-time highs here. The only thing left now is the weekly highs, really. I can't chase it up here. I need that pullback. And the problem is now we've swept so many levels of liquidity. We've swept so much out. These are the only levels left. And it's just in a rush to get up there. I was waiting for that pullback into the initial balance. Nice work. I'm not in this, but you all are, so that's good. Nice work, everyone. A bit distracted today, if I'm honest. Just absorbed flow zones all day. Probably should have just stuck with this. Just didn't like the divergence with the ES. It's one of them. Google now 5.11% up. Google is on a tear, dragging this market up with it. Apple now gone green on the day, or at least flat on the day, closing its gap. What an absolute ripper. So sweeping all that liquidity. How far down does it now come? ES coming back to its initial balance. NQ's got a long way to go back to initial balance. But like I said, the problem is low-hanging fruits have gone now. The only thing left really to aim for would be previous week high, which is 529, and previous day high, which would break us out the range, which is 562. So yeah, divergence was killer today. It was absolutely horrible. It is what it is. You know, folks, we're not going to have, or at least I'm not going to have banging trades every day, especially when we're just inside range. We never really even back tested the initial balance here. We just went. Once it went, it went. That was it. Game over. How far down can we come? Very thin underneath here right now. Very, very thin. Yes, holding its IB. Google almost 5% up. Wow, what an absolute face rip. I can't believe anyone would be short in Google. Like, it was just such an obvious bullshit sell-off on a huge Mag 7 company based on nothing. It was always going to be bought up. VIX now has also closed its gap. Well, very close to closing its gap. Can we get a deep pullback here? Is it worth trading a deep pullback here as well, given that we've just taken so much liquidity? Holding runner to PDC on ES. Yeah, it looks good. You got a 5-day up there as well into 59.75. I didn't take it. The guys in chat took it. I was waiting for a pullback into the initial balance, which didn't come. Guess what has pulled back into the initial balance, though? ES has pulled back into the initial balance. Of course it's pulled back into the initial balance. It's doing everything perfectly today on ES. Of course it has. Of course ES has done it. Of course it has, mate. What a joke. What a joke of a day. You got to think they might as well go up for those weekly highs now. You're going to need rotation out of Google into some of the other names a little bit as well. and you're going to need a healthy pullback here to be absorbed. PDC is a long way away now. You know, looking for some form of sort of flag continuation or something like that. Yeah, somewhere in here would need to maybe a two-leg pullback, maybe a flag continuation, something in here to get you into here, and then you've got a breakout, and that's a higher time frame breakout at that point, folks. That would be a daily breakout and a weekly breakout. So you break through those highs of 560s. 560s, what's that, high of week? Yeah, you break through this high, and that's a daily and weekly breakout. It's a big breakout at that point. So here goes the flag. They're attempting the break on this flag. I'm in this small size, holding previous week close right now, so give me some conviction to hold. Just want to see a new break of 19s and a squeeze up through the previous week high. Here's the 19 break. Finally getting some money today. Didn't pull back as deep as I'd like, but like I said, I'll play momentum when it's there and obvious. Partial out into that break of structure. So let's see if we can get to 29s, and if we can get that, if we can get to previous day high. Like I said, I felt like if we took 490 today, the move to 560 should be fairly clear. Here we go. 525 on the book, so I'm just checking book map, see where the sellers are. More sellers at 562s. That's the previous day high. If we get through previous day high, we will break out of this range. We will finally break out of this range, and we will have a weekly model on the breakout of that range. Locked some in here. Nicely green on the day here now. Sorry, folks, a little bit of a cough here this morning. And getting stuck at previous week high. I don't mind cutting this if it's going to drift back lower. I've already locked in profits, and then re-adding if we're going to do a deep drive and hold. Finally getting a trade. I do think there is a chance to get up into these levels. We're very, very aggressively steep here, so I'm just playing momentum. But any pullback into here or here that's absorbed, I think this trade into here is possible, and that will trigger a squeeze at that point. Multi-time frame squeeze. Remember, here is from weekly and daily stops are. All right, so weekly and daily short stops are here. We trigger that, we probably get a pump. You must sell some into that because you don't know if that is the end of the game for the week. But if we're going to get a weekly model, you would expect expansion above that. I'm actually quite happy for this to come lower. I'm out everything but a tiny running out. I'm actually would rather this comes lower so I can get a better price. But so far we're holding previous week close. It looks like it wants to take out previous week high and previous day high. I actually wouldn't mind a deeper drive. Is QQQ a buy? I mean, you'd be buying high of day if you're buying QQQ right now. It's not a good location for a buy right now. You got to wait for a pullback. I'd say, you know, pullbacks into 20s, 21s, 20s, maybe even a bit lower would be great. Adds on a sustained bid over 523s, I would say, if you're playing QQQ. You can add on a sustained bid over 523s. So if a pullback holds and you get a sustained bid over 523s, you could probably add. Was it a good buy at 517? I mean, you held pre-market highs at 518.27. Was it a good buy in hindsight? Yeah. But did you know it was going to do this with the divergence in the tape versus the SPY and the VIX? No. I'm going to use a bathroom here while we build out. Hopefully we get a nice deep pullback before I come back. Oh, look at that. No change. All right. Can we get a deep pullback here? It would be nice. It would be nice. If we start failing underneath PDC, though, and the flow zones, the 5-minute flow zones and stuff, then gotta be careful. Still got divergence on the tape. ES still yet to get up to that 5-day moving average, and PDC, it's right back at its initial balance high right now. If it doesn't hold this, it can probably dive fairly deep. Remember, we've had fairly large divergence on the book today. Google now 5.25% up. An Aeron chair. I've never heard of them. I'll check that out. Still holding flow zones here. Still holding previous week close. ES still bidding off its initial balance right now. Why has my stream disappeared? It's literally gone. Bizarre. Why is Google up? I don't know if there was news, but I mean, it just made sense to me. We've gone over it all week. in the last 2 weeks. That sell-off was ridiculous. Just a stupid sell-off based on absolutely BS. And it just bid it back up. And this stupid sell-off became a cheap buy. Stops are here. Grind up. Breakout. Just a good, clean breakout. Very nice. Easy trader. That is a one-way move, though, isn't it? At some point, you can imagine there's a fairly big pullback on this coming. Partnership with Volvo. I don't think it's going to be because of a partnership with Volvo. That's funny. Here we go. Previous week high now taken. Still in this small size with the runner, just in case we get to previous day high of 61s. ES a little bit further to go to close its gap. ES target will be 960s for that first stop. Previous day high would be 993s. Lots of room on the ES. So it's our first time taking out previous week high. We've got hourly transitions here into 38s. We need to move this down a little bit. This should be basically down into 38. So like supply starts at 38, just so you know. We're getting a bit steep here. You want to be careful. They might want to come and wash these out before going up later, especially if Google gives a big pullback, okay? If we're being driven up by one name more than the others, when that starts flushing, and it inevitably will, because people will want to take some profits, you will want to be careful. Starting to see a bit of a turn here in Goog. 200-day moving average on Goog set 72.60. Maybe it pulls back to there. Yeah, hoping for a pullback for sure. Hoping for a pullback now. Now we're in a strong trend day. Now we're breaking out of range. Nice pullback would be good. Doesn't want to give it right now. Just in a runner. I'm going to hold this as long as possible. Just a tiny little guy. Goog's starting to sell a bit here, folks. Like I said, might come down for that 200-day. Maybe even 71s if it wants to. Oh, straighten this chair a bit. Previous day high is the target. Outside of that, we get a breakout of the daily and weekly range. We'd love, I know I'm in a runner, but I would much rather get knocked out of the runner and have a big, deep wash and pullback that gets absorbed, that we can buy now that we're in potential breakout territory to go for that upside move. If we go back into sort of sub 460s, we go back inside that kind of range, won't be buying it. Won't be buying it if we do that. Need to see a reaction anywhere down here, something around here. Do not want to get under here again. All right, do not want to get into this again. Need to use these guys as potential RBSs to go higher. Google trying to absorb there, 74s. Previous day high is not far away here, and that is your daily and weekly breakout. It would be nice if they get a move on. The reason I'm saying that is I don't want them to faff around all through lunch, or me go away and then do the move at lunch, which is definitely what's been happening recently. At least we made some money today, though. Finally. Oh. Vic's trying to find a bit of a bid here. Google's still trying to build a 5-minute flag. I still would like this to fail. It'd be nice if we failed, not because I'm looking for the short. It'd be nice if we give that pullback before taking previous day high. Then we've got something left to aim for if it's really going to get going this afternoon. If we go and take out previous day high, really you just want a straight squeeze and a breakout retest of the previous day high. You don't then want it to drift back inside the old weekly range. So it means that pullback last night was nothing more than a 61 fib on that daily range we talked about, which is absorbed this morning. I wasn't comfortable buying into it without the momentum, and it is just gone, hasn't it? Straight up since that momentum came in. And we caught a piece of it. Just like, how much better does ES look? Just every part of ES looks better today. Even the breakout. Look how clean this is. There's the sweep of the low. There's the trend. There's the W. There's the push-pull, and it gives you opportunity to get involved. Such a different chart. To this. All right, starting to see some selling. Google's starting to sell a little bit. Back into previous week close. That's what that yellow line is. It's previous week close. I'd like us to come down here. Come and take these lot out. Deeper the better, really. And then see if they catch a bid. Any bid from sort of 490s down into 460s would be good. I definitely want them to sweep these guys out, though. I don't want to buy before we do that. Please come down first. Please come down first, market. Please, 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 please. If we go straight up to previous day high, the only thing left to do then is look for a long continuation or retest of previous day high. Unless they fail. Unless they sweep and fail, which will be awful. That would be an absolutely awful move if they do that. Please come lower first. Google starting to pull back. ES basing above its initial balance. We are extended away from it on the Qs. VIX finding a bid here as well. Come on, market. Please. Please. Please come back. Interestingly, VWAP on the ES would be a 61 fib pullback. Let's just have a quick look. Please, market. Running out of time before lunch. Nice, Tyson. Yeah, I'm up all right. Not great. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a bit. Grand and a bit. It's all right. Come on. Puke it out and then absorb it. Google starting to pull back here. Like I said, I'm going to Google into the 200 days, 72 into initial balance, and VWAP is where structure is at 71, 171. Do they pull back to there and then find some absorption on the tape? Did we sweep there? No, still not swept yet on NQ. ES has swept. Come on, NQ, you've got to go lower. You never want to go higher when we want you to go higher. You never come lower when we want you to go lower. You never sweep people when you should. You're being a pain in the bum recently. We cannot long high of day. No way. Yeah, exactly, Radar. Ramus, I passed an Evo, made some green on the chop. Nice. Should have held for 500, but happy with what I got. Always be happy with what you got. Here comes. Start the pullback here. Come on. Deeper, 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 deeper. Come deeper. Deeper and deeper. Nice. Come to Papa. Deep, deep. Deep, deep. Nice. Come on. Puke it out. Not because I'm short. Just trap the shorts in. Come. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. I get deeper, I get deeper, I get deeper. No, not more. You still haven't swept. You've got to come more. You haven't even swept 95 yet. Go. Just give like a 30-point Dunkerama at least. Maybe even more would be good. 50 points would be great. Google looks like it's peaked out there. Everything's starting to play out. Come on. Calm down. One thing to be aware of, the only thing left to attack is the previous day high and current week high, okay, which would be, those in the room, you know what we look for on a Wednesday. I wasn't thinking we were going this way today, but we've said it's been a weird week where we take one side, go for the other side, take one side, go for the other side. Range rotation week. How deep can we go? Okay, starting to sweep, we want deeper. We still want deeper. And then we want sort of a W pattern or inverse head and shoulders or something like that to get involved with. If it doesn't give that, we cannot attack it to the long side. we start letting go of PDC and initial balance, then there's no trade for the long side. That is, we go back into range rotation. MediaTek, which one are you looking at? I'm not sure what that question is, my friend. What instrument am I looking at? This is the NQ. If you never know, you can tell by these huge numbers down the side. That's how you know it's the NQ. I would like a bigger drive down here. I want shorts to come and attack this, and I want it to be absorbed. Yeah, NQ. Which ticker am I talking about? The NQ. The futures of the Nasdaq. All right, so it moves the same way as QQQ. Google getting close to that 200-day. I'm watching 72.50s on Google, and if it fails that, I'm watching 71s, which is initial balance high. It's where we've got 5-minute structure, and it's where VWAP is. I expect they will bid off that. If we get down there, that would be good. Be very good. We are just still holding here on the NQ. Yes, still holding initial balance. I would really prefer we go deeper first than do this move here. Please. Doesn't look like you're going to. Doesn't look like you're going to, does it? You've just caught everyone. All right. All right, then. Do what you want. Holding flow zones. Do what you want, market. I can't force you. I'd much rather you come deeper for me. Google close that 200-day. Watch that 200-day. I do not want to buy up here. I know we've just swept, but we haven't dug into like the 5-minute or 15-minute imbalance enough for me. But this thing's in a hurry. If we look at like this, we tapped into it. I was watching this here. Tapped into it, it's finding a bid. I would much rather come down somewhere around here. A two legs always preferable and stuff like this, because then we know bears come in once, bears come in twice, and then we start to pivot, and then we've got their pain points that we can use. So we've got internal bears, use their liquidity to get to external bears. All right, so New York bears, daily, weekly bears, that's where their stops will be. So that's why I'd like a 2-leg. Deep flow zone pullback would be ideal. Would be ideal. Let's just see. Yeah, definitely, Ramus. I mean, it's both sides is always when we're in chop like this, inside range, both sides are always possible. I think we went over it on Discord early this morning. You know, if we held this move here was possible. There's the 500 hold. There's the move to equal highs if we do that. This is where we are now. We're right here. All right, so we're looking for this pullback here to get to this move, to do this, to expand if it wants to expand. It had the chance to do this move this morning, and it couldn't do it. So we just have to respect that. Even here, we said rotation from lows will be all the way to 500, which is what we've now done. So it was always one or the other. We just have to, you know, be fairly flexible. When we're inside days and inside weeklies, remember, we're still an inside day right now. We have to be a little bit flexible. We have to be a little bit flexible and wait for momentum to come in. Very easy to get frustrated, because really what we had this morning in that divergence, all right, was this. Remember when we were here, we were higher time frame liquidity build. That's why I don't want to touch this. Arguably, it could have taken a breakout trade there. Really was waiting. I think I said here, I want the IB retest for this move. What you need to be careful of here is this move down. We've swept previous week now. If this wants to come down to here, very easy move. Now here, I'd like them to bid back up and go for previous day high. They don't have to do it. They don't have to do anything. But if we can get a move down here, which bases above where we broke out from in this wick here, we can base here and do like a W pattern. This move here and here and here becomes more and more probable. If we're going to base out at the top, it's going to be very hard to join. Google finding a bid off that 200-day moving average. Literally right off it. So all the time it's holding that, it's saying to everyone, hey, I want to go up for the rest of the year. My average participant is now in the money. I want to go up. That is a long-term buy signal if you stay over the 200-day. Get to VWAP first, Phenom. I don't think we're coming back to any VWAP today. Where's the anchor? I've lost it, haven't I? Because we're on NQ1 now. Oh, maybe. Maybe if we got very lucky, it'll be a break and retest model. But right now, it just wants to squeeze. It just wants to squeeze. I know, it's sad, man. This is what happens with trading. It frustrates the hell out of you. It swept the internal liquidity, turned, and it's trying to pivot. I would much rather... It's a much safer buy down here. What's your RR right now? I mean, you'd have to risk internal, breakout buy for this move up here. It's not great. Whereas down here, we get a W, something like this. We join here, we risk this, we partial here, and then we might get expansion into that. It's a much better trade if it offers it. This would be like, you know, maybe if we got down, where's my thing? We were playing poker, this would be like a jack-jack. Right here, we're probably playing with like a 8-9, maybe even not that good. You know, this would be a jack-jack. It's not an ace-ace, but it's decent. Pocket pair, good high pocket pair. I'm getting close to lunch as well, 15 minutes. Phenom, you always lose with jacks. Let's see. Come on. Down we come, market. Down, 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 down. I'm going to be very patient. I want it to come lower. There's no way I'm buying up here. It can go without me. It needs to come down. Yes, back to initial balance here. Remember, lower the better right now for this market. We swept previous week high. Previous week high was at 529. This red line here, we've just swept it. Remember, all these come with this, right? All your levels. If you like, I wouldn't know what that level is. I've just got them turned off in terms of the text because I know what they all are, right? They would just tell you. I turned everything off. What are the odds of another outside bar on the daily? An outside bar? I mean, soon for sure. An outside bar, we'd need the break of previous day high. It's possible. It is possible. It's what we'd like to look for. You'd think it would need bigger news than it's had to do it. But it feels like they've got shorts trapped right now. Lots of outside bars on the daily. What are you talking about? Not really. Daily's just building a range. We're in an inside a weekly range. I mean, you've got failed breakouts outside, but really, if you look at the open closes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're really in a six day balance range with 5 days holding the expansion of the range. But before we came to here, we had lots of outside bars where we were just driving higher. Oh, I've got to stretch my back, man. It's starting to hurt. All right, 10 minutes left till lunch. Ugh. That's where I'd like it to pull back to. 90s to 60s. Somewhere in that 30-point range would be ideal. 90s, 60s, somewhere in here. Somewhere in here would be good. Deeper would be here, but somewhere in here. And then see something like this start to build. Still holding. One of the issues I've got right now is looking at SPY. Where it broke down from yesterday is where we're at right now. I'd say 92.50s to 92s. It's where we broke down from yesterday. So you can understand like what I look at when I'm looking at stuff. Look at yesterday. The bottom of the balance range yesterday is where we broke down from. It can still be a back test to go lower. Reclaim this. That move's possible. Remember, we have weakness in the SPY versus the NQ right now. Starting to base out here very well. Are they just going to swipe it before we get the new hour? Google building off that 200-day, building off the 5-minute flow zones like we talked about. Here's previous week high again. Oh my gosh, are they just going to go for it? It feels like they're just going to go for it, doesn't it? How annoying. How annoying. How much do I want to click buy? Big part of me thinks we're going straight to previous day high. It just doesn't fit what I want. Hands off the mouse for me. It can go without me. Location's not good. Momentum's great. Momentum is great. Location's not good. H1's looking very good. Here it goes. Previous week high. High of day break coming. Probably gets you up to previous day high. So if they raid the stops at 35, you probably get up to 62. So again, I'm not in it. Google going for a high of day test as well. VIX testing low of day. You have confluence right now. It's just not offering me that deep pullback that I want to get the good risk reward, even though I think the drive is higher. My back is starting to really seize up here now. That's good, Trenching. Glad to hear that. Yeah, just always try and look at the charts and try and think, like, if we broke down from a level, like, who's stuck at that level? Right, so SPY is really coming into levels where buyers have been stuck. If we reclaim those levels, those buyers are no longer stuck. Yeah, maybe, Raphael. It would be nice, wouldn't it? I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. Maybe. ES has held its initial balance very, very well. Like, again, the technical trade on ES, like, if you're going to trade the initial balance, how nice has that been? So move down, we sweep liquidity, we break trend, you get buy signal, we bid up. We pull back, we hold initial balance, we build liquidity. It's trading much better right now. It is trading much better. All right, well, this is why I don't buy the highs, even if it goes. Just how do you hold your risk reward here in good stead? MediaTek, hang on. Let me just I'm just gonna phone Nostradamus and ask them. Hey Nostro, how's it going? My buddy MediaTek on YouTube wants to know, is the market going up or going down tomorrow? What's that? You don't have a fucking clue. Yeah, me neither. I'll let him know. Cheers, bye. No idea, mate. It's too early to say right now. We need to see where we close this session. If we close, all right, if we close outside the daily and the weekly range that we're currently in, then I would expect there's a chance for a pullback long off the weekly range to keep going up. All right. But, you know, it's lunchtime on a Wednesday. You're asking me to tell you where we're going to go tomorrow. We're bullish on the hourly, and based on the Elliott waves, I wonder if we're going to reach 700 in London. Oh, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Big drive. I can't tell if you're joking. Is there normally a pullback before another high? Yeah, well, the market doesn't go straight up. Right? But like what I would say, the one thing you have to keep remembering is this is a daily and a weekly level. If we trigger these stops, there is a chance it goes on a squeeze. But if, let's say we go up here and we close here today, what would I be looking for tomorrow? A return into the daily and weekly level and a continuation higher. If we fail under the daily weekly level and we come back and we test it, what would I look for? Shorts back into range. right? It's always the same kind of play over and over again, especially when we're breaking outside of ranges. Like, I'm very small up today, as you can see. Small, no red, just small up, nothing massive. It's not been my A plus setup, so therefore I won't have an A plus kind of day. Yeah, Paul, very, very possible. I do think we're going for new all-time highs. I do think the market ideally wants to pull back deeper first. If it doesn't pull back first before going to all-time highs, I think it's going to be very dangerous, because I think that's when we start trapping a lot of retail bulls, just like we did last time, right? So if it doesn't give a healthy pullback, let's go to a daily. All right, if we don't pull back, remember we broke out of here. If we don't offer a pullback into here to set a higher low before breaking out of here to get up to these highs, if we don't do that, right, it means that we've moved from 19,710 to 22,300 in one go. That is very unhealthy. And what you're then likely to see is a wick high and a nasty pullback. Right, so ideally, for a healthy market, right, think about this. Fail breakout, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. For a healthy market, we need this. That sets up this. And then we're likely to get a neckline break, retest, and a big push. And then we can think about some flipping huge targets if we do that. Why? Because if we go fib from this to there, this would be the target, 26,178. If we don't do that, though, that's not going to happen. Right, if we don't give a healthy pullback, it's not going to happen. If we go straight squeeze, we are likely to see some failure here, and either a shallower pullback or a really, really, like, if we have recession issues here, which is very, very likely, we get something really nasty and we trap retail longs above here again. So let's hope we get a healthy pullback first, eh? Let's hope for it. For everyone's sake, so we can buy some more. Yeah, the Nostradamus numbers in the course. You can ask him anything. Doesn't have to be out of the market. If you could ask Nostradamus anything, what would you ask him? All right, I'm about to log off here, folks. We're into lunchtime here. Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I just finished watching Paradise season 1 last night. That is a good show. I like that show a lot. I really like that show. That was so good. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it, but definitely go and watch it. Paradise. Thank you, Andrew Scalan, if you're still in chat, for putting me onto it. So good. So good. Can't wait for season 2. Very famous trader said, give someone the news for the market tomorrow. He would go broke in a couple of weeks. Famous trader, give somebody the news for the market tomorrow. Oh, yeah. That makes sense, though. That makes sense. All right, team. I'm out of here. Done and dusted. Out of it. I'm going to set some price alerts. So let's do this here. I'm going to set a price alert for this breakout. Why didn't that set? Let's try again. Add alert. Hello. Maybe I've got to do it on NQM, and maybe that's why. Why alert's not working. Wow. What is going on? save this. Let's refresh it. Maybe I could then get it to work. This alert may not function as intended. What are you on about? So one there. Let's set one for the pullback. And let's set one for down here. I can go and get on with my day and not have to worry about watching it. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, Christy? There must be an issue on TradingView. Never used to get that. Normally it would give me an offer, the option of labeling it, but maybe some issue there on TradingView. So price alert set. Let's see what we get. Hopefully we get a nice deep fat pullback which we can absorb and trade up in the afternoon. But if not, we go again tomorrow, same thing, rinse, repeat. We see where we close. Like Nostradamus says, he doesn't know where it's going to close today, which means we don't know what we're going to get tomorrow, but we will see what we get, folks, and go from there. There's nothing more to do than that. Tough day at the office. It feels like a tough day at the office for me with that divergence. Like, I don't blame myself for not getting long given what I was seeing in ES. I do blame myself for not trading ES, though. I am starting to get to the point where maybe I should be trading the asset. Looks better. It's starting to annoy me. But it is what it is. Can't force your way into the market like we talk about. All right. Please be safe. All right. Please be safe. You will notice my green day is not very big. My red days are not very big when I have them. They are rare, but they do happen. And when we get an A+, we get big green days. Not every day is going to be the same. You cannot force your way in. Yesterday afternoon had a great trade. This morning, not so much. So let's just see. Peace and love. Please use hard stops. Be careful. As a reminder, there are some sales still on. All right. Take Profit Trader is still 30% off for life. You can pay yourself every single day with Take Profit Trader, and you can have multiple accounts. Apex is still 80% off right now. You can trade up to 20 accounts. And Traderify, this is incorrect. I need to change it. I think it's currently 35% off, and it will end at the end of May. All right, these are still my favorite three. Traderify being my top one by a country mile. All right, best firm out there. It's not even close. Until next time, love you all. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you made a bit of money today. If you didn't, hopefully you didn't lose too much. And we'll go again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Be safe.